Election season is upon us, and it's yet another consequential election. Elections are not just about federal politics. When it comes to transit and urbanism, local elections are far more pertinent in influencing change where you live. This November election, over a dozen municipalities in the United States are going to have ballot measures that will fund or support public transit and walkability. So if you live in any of these places, make sure you pay attention on your ballot and vote accordingly. For good measure, let's quickly go over some of the initiatives that I know of. But it's also important to do your due diligence on electing local politicians who are also pro-transit, as transit-friendly leadership is crucial for the success of mass transit. Let's start with Arizona. In Flagstaff, Prop 488 is on the ballot. This will introduce a tax to fund the expansion of bus service and the electrification of buses for the Mountain Line bus service. In Maricopa County, Prop 479 is the continuation of an existing tax that funds transportation in the region, such as light rail, streetcars, bus transit, arterial roads, and highways. Many of these modes of transit have projects lined up to accommodate the population growth in one of the fastest growing counties in Arizona. California has some motion going on when it comes to transit. Palo Alto is voting on ballot measure D to allow for a bus lane to be built through a park, which is expected to cut travel times by 5 to 8 minutes by creating a better connection to a transit center nearby. Down in San Diego, Measure G will introduce a tax to fund rail and bus transit service improvements and infrastructure, as well as a lot of maintenance and repair projects for transit, roads, and drainage. Prop L in San Francisco will introduce a tax to fund the operations of Muni, the city's transit agency. These funds will be used to fund their discounted fare program, maintain or expand transit service to public amenities like schools and parks. Last up in California is South Lake Tahoe, a ski resort town. It is voting on a vacancy tax that will fund housing, road infrastructure, and public transit. This tax will only apply to homes that are vacant for the majority of the year. The Denver metro area in Colorado will be voting on ballot question 7A. This will allow the Regional Transit District, or RTD, to be able to keep all the revenue it makes to fund transit infrastructure and service, which includes bus and rail transit. The metro area includes the counties of Denver, Adams, Arapahoe, Boulder, Broomfield, Douglas, Jefferson, and Weld. Telluride and Mountain Village are voting on ballot question 3A to provide funding to support the gondola service and bus transit in the area that connects the two towns together. There are 2 counties in Georgia that have special purpose local option sales tax to fund transit on the ballot. Cobb County is voting on their mobility splosh to fund the expansion of bus service, as well as new transit centers and connections to MARTA. This will also fund microtransit in the area too. Over in Gwinnett County, their transit splosh referendum will fund over 75 different projects, including expanded bus service, new transit transfer facilities, microtransit, and transit rides to the airport. In the Midwest, Franklin County, which is basically Columbus, Ohio, is voting on Issue 47. This is a tax levy that will go towards funding improved bus service, bus infrastructure, new and improved sidewalks, bike lanes and trails, as well as microtransit. South Carolina has 4 counties voting on a special sales and use tax this election. Unfortunately, some of them allocate quite a bit to road projects, so vote at your discretion. Starting with Beaufort County, they have a lot of road projects they plan on using the funds for, mainly for safety and congestion. There are some mass transit projects as well as pedestrian and cyclist projects thrown in the mix. Charleston County will be using their money for mainly car infrastructure, but there are some projects that create accommodations and paths for pedestrians and cyclists. Horry County is a similar story. There are quite a few road widening and road expansion projects. There is some money set aside for mass transit as part of this tax though. Richland County will be using their funds for road projects as well, but there's a decent amount of funds going towards improving bus transit with new routes and new buses. Microtransit, pedestrian, and bikeway improvements are also included. Nashville, Tennessee has a transit improvement program referendum on the ballot that will introduce a sales tax to fund a big transit investment in the city, such as improving highly traveled corridors used by buses and pedestrians, and improving bus service and bus priority. Pedestrian and cyclist safety are going to be improved as well with the addition of new sidewalks and complete street redesigns that focuses more on safety and infrastructure for walking and cycling. The last state we are covering is Washington. The city of Chelan is voting on Prop 1 to introduce a tax to fund transportation improvements. These will mainly be focused on road and bridge upgrades, pedestrian safety at crosswalks and sidewalks, and mixed-use trails in their transit benefit district. Finally, we have Seattle, who is also voting on their own Prop 1. The Seattle Transportation Levy is a renewal of an existing levy that is set to expire this year. The funds from this levy are going towards large infrastructure maintenance and improvements on streets, bridges, transit corridors, sidewalks, bike lanes, and public spaces. All of these measures are an opportunity to push our mobility options in the right direction by voting in favor of funding transit, walkability, and bikeability. Pro-transit politicians also need your support too. Local politicians have influence on what gets put up to vote. So a transit-friendly local government means more opportunity to vote on funding transit projects. When it's time to vote,
let's do it. Do it. Let's do it, yeah. Let's do it, yeah. Let's do it, yeah.
Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. There'll never be a long and lonely night again. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. Girl, please don't ever let me be alone again. Thank you for your love. Thank you for the heart. There'll never be a long and lonely